Okay, namaste. Welcome to our Monday short hold Valentine's Day class. And we are going to start in a seated meditation position and just sit up nice and straight. This is a 1-hour practice. And we're going to go through the 4 directions of the hips, the 6 directions of the spine as well. Really open up the hip joints today. So sit up nice and straight and tall. Make sure you have your blocks handy. Blanket across the center of your mat, and you can just rest sitting on a blanket, on a block, leaning against a wall, whatever feels the most supportive for this first 5 minutes of class. So just close your eyes and let your face begin to relax, the forehead, the eyes, temples. Good. Swallow to relax your throat, and then let your teeth part slightly so you're not clenching your jaw at all. And just start to notice your breath. Notice that you're breathing through your nose right now. And then feel the flow of that beautiful life force energy, your chi, your prana. And tune into it. Let everything else go for the next 60 minutes, just really allowing your body and mind to unite through the bridge of the breath. So noticing the texture of the breath as it enters and exits your nose. Just let your breath be as natural as possible right now. And notice if the breath is heavy or light, rough or smooth, dry or moist, without judgment. What does your breath feel like today, this Valentine's Day? And remembering that this class is about self-love. As we take care of ourselves, remember being disciplined is also part of self-love. So we're disciplining ourselves to sit still, to sit up straight, to relax our faces, to look inward with compassion today. It takes a little bit of work. So this is Anapana meditation as we concentrate our mind and practice dharana, concentration on the breath traveling in and out through the nose. Just stay here for another minute or so. Feeling the breath skimming across the skin below the nose as it enters and exits. Now that we've got our mind focused a little better on the breath and body, let's begin our deeper breathing. We're going to do a 4-4-6-2 breath today, which means we're going to fill the lungs to a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, exhale to a count of 6, and hold it for a count of 2, and really focusing on the heart chakra as we're holding the count of 4 at the top of the inhale. So let's begin by filling the lungs to a count of 4, 3, 2, now hold your breath, 4, 3, 2, exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it for 2, and 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, fill up and hold it in your heart center, 4, 3, 2, exhale what you don't need, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it for 2, and 1. One more, inhale, 4, 3, 2, hold it in your heart, 4, 3, 2, exhale, cleanse, 6, 5, 4, 3, empty all the way to the bottom and then hold it out for 2 and 1. Let your breath go back to its natural rhythm. Good. We're going to begin just to fill the lungs like a glass now. For Dirga Pranayama, we're going to fill the belly, fill the ribs, fill the heart center, pause, empty chest, empty ribs, belly draws back, pause. Continue like that, filling bottom, center, top, pausing, emptying, top, center, belly draws back as we pause. Continue on your own, nice and slow, like filling a glass, pausing at the top and then emptying like a glass, pausing, at the bottom of your exhale by drawing the belly muscles in. Now practice a couple more rounds, nice and slow and steady. Good. Now stretch your arms into a T. Remember, focusing on the heart chakra today. We're going to breathe in, reach up, bringing the hands together. Breathe out, let the hands float to the heart center. Good. Breathe in, bring your hands to your forehead to touch. Breathe out, bring the hands down, arms wide, palms up. 2 more times. Breathing in, reach up, hands together. You can look up if you like. Breathe out, hands to heart. You can bow your head towards your heart center if you like. Breathing in, gaze from the inside to your third eye. And breathe out. Let your mind become expansive as your arms go back to the wide position. 1 more time. Breathe in, reach up. And breathe out, hands to heart. Breathe in, gaze to your third eye. And breathe out, arms wide. Okay, let's finish. Inhale up. And exhale, pause at the heart center. Now let the breath go back to its natural rhythm. We want to send love to someone in our life today. Maybe it's ourselves, and that's okay. So think about someone that you love right now. Someone that you care deeply about. You want to see them surrounded with joy, peace and harmony in their mind, their heart, and their body. This is visualization. This could be yourself that you're seeing. Do this work today for the person that you've chosen. Let's bring the hands to the forehead to touch. Remember, the thoughts will be there. They're not who you are, but they're powerful. So watch your thoughts. Be the witness to your thinking and direct them towards love today. Hands back to the heart center. Imagine whoever that is, whether it's yourself or another person sitting in front of you in the same position as yourself. We're going to Om, sending out that beautiful vibration to their hearts. Breathe in. Om. All right, beautiful. Let's come to cat and cow. Bring in the blocks to the tops of your mat. And then hands flat, knees hip distance on your blanket. Make sure the middle finger faces forward and the hands are flat. On your inhales, tail and chin will roll up. You lift through your chin to really stretch your throat chakra. On your exhales, round the back, bring the chin towards the chest to compress the throat chakra. And then go back and forth, nice and slow. In with peace, out with what you don't need today. Let it go. So we're learning how to witness the thinking. So when things do happen that are uncomfortable, that we can kind of feel and experience what's happening within the body instead of projecting it out into the world with shame or guilt or blame. But we can embrace it and learn from it. And then heal it that way. Okay, let's bring the right arm to the sky. We're going to start with thread the needle and then slide the right arm behind the left wrist with the palm up, shoulder down, right side of the head or face. And just relax there and allow the back of the heart chakra to begin to melt open. Okay, so Geshe Michael Roach, a Buddhist monk, teacher of mine from long ago, he teaches that the heart chakra is a sphere. So we're not thinking of it just radiating forward, but in all directions from the center of our chest along the spine where the heart chakra lies. So he also said that there's a knot in the back of the heart chakra that can be twisted and kind of manipulated open through this posture. and other postures that get into the upper spine, the thoracic. So imagine that you're wringing out the space to squeeze out old hurts, old pains. And then when we come out, we can imagine that beautiful white light, healing love in the heart chakra, just rushing into all the space we're creating right now. Now, if you need more pressure, you can lift your left arm and thread it behind the back. And if you need less pressure, you can keep your hand in front of you, or maybe use something underneath the side of your face, a blanket, possibly. So the idea in Yin Yoga is to soften. This is the practice of softening in our life. To let go of the hurry and the worry. To move away from fear towards pain, towards love. Two opposites on the spectrum of emotions. A few more breaths here. Elizabeth Hagen says that to move towards love is whatever brings us both joy and deeper connection to ourselves and others. Let's place that left hand in front of the face and sweep the right arm to the sky and hold it there, really focusing on the center of the chest. This is the counter pose. See that white light rushing into the heart chakra. Now we're going to simply step the right foot back next and open up the heart towards the sky. So left toes behind you, let the right arm fall back. And we're not forcing things here, right? We're relaxing and breathing. So see if you can slowly let your head get heavy like a bowling ball, right? Feeling the side of the neck opening and dropping the right arm back, pushing the chest forward a little bit, almost like a back bend in the chest. And then breathe into that heart space. See the white light replacing any darkness. Beautiful. Remember, we're practicing for our chosen person. And that can be you. Beautiful. Now, as we come down, we're going to take a step forward with the right foot. Get into the first posture, which is dragon pose today. Put a block in front of your left thigh. So we step it up. We let the hips sink into it. And then wherever the body stops naturally, just take that block and prop yourself. Now let's begin with a heart opener, the high dragon. So this will be a 5-minute hold. We'll do 2.5 high and 2.5 low today. Okay. So you start to lift your chest up so you can start to open up the heart again. Think about this today. Always trying to focus there, and where the mind goes, the energy flows. So let's bring our mind into our body using the breath as the bridge. So breathe into your heart space. Breathe into wherever you're feeling limitation in your body. And just keep taking your breath there. Nice and steady and smooth. Good. So with this one, it's good to have the front knee over the front ankle, just for your knee joint safety. And we're going to feel a big stretch in the front of the left hip joint. And that's what we're targeting right now, the hip flexors and quads. Stomach and spleen channels are there. Remember that the meridians, as described in Sarah Power's book, are simply energy pathways. And it also carries not only chi through those pathways, but lubrication for this tissue that we're targeting today. So we're juicing up the joints. Good. Your right elbow can rest against your right thigh if you prefer. Make sure you keep breathing. We have 1 more minute here. Now, if this gets too strong, you just lean forward a little bit more, or you can lay right on top of your right thigh for baby dragon with your hands on either side of the foot. So let your body decide. The back toes can curl under or point. Good. Nice steady breaths in and out through the nose. So if you like, you can drop your right ear towards your right shoulder for a few breaths. And then switch sides, bringing the left ear over the left shoulder, just letting your shoulders relax, letting your head get heavy again. For a side bend, lateral flexion of your cervical spine, your neck. So the first principle of Yin is to always find that place that feels just right. Sweet discomfort is the goal as we practice self-care today. Now we're going to move into our low dragon. Let's go to baby dragon first, leaning onto the thigh, and then take the blocks and place them inside your front foot. They can be stacked or on their sides. And then climb your elbows to those blocks. Walk your right foot over to the right, just making room for the right shoulder. And we have 2.5 more minutes. So you can go with blocks stacked, that would be the highest. Any higher than that, you could just go to your baby dragon instead by wrapping your right arm onto the outside of your right foot. And just breathe wherever you are. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Making your intuitive adjustments. If you need more or less, and this practice is called playing your edge. You go in a little bit, come out a little bit. Try not to make any big moves. We just have 1 more minute here. So going deeper into this pose, down lower, starts to affect the front leg a little more. This is so good for your lower back. This whole practice can help keep your lower back healthy and strong, along with core work and other things you might be doing. Good. Steady breath, steady mind, 30 seconds. So every day can be Valentine's Day as we practice self-love and self-care every day. And the more joyful we can become and happier with ourselves, the more joy we can bring into the world, into our circles, our bubbles that we live in, with our family and friends, our communities. Now let's start to shift the hips back gently. Hands on the ground, pull the hips back. Stay there, just letting the front leg straighten out a little bit. Bowing over your right leg. Keep breathing. You could let your head hang here too to get a nice stretch through the back of the neck and the upper spine. Beautiful. Let's take the right leg back and go back to table for a moment. Hands and knees on the blanket. And just move your body, cats and cows, a few rounds. Up and down, side to side. What feels good? Letting your body decide. Nice. Now let's move into the second side of that flow. Left arm goes up. Left arm on the floor behind the right wrist, shoulder down, left side of the face or head. Now keep your hips over your knees with thread the needle so you don't put too much pressure on your shoulder joint. And then just relax and tune into your beautiful body today. Maybe you've heard of techniques like looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that you love yourself or that you're beautiful, right? These are things, and it sounds silly, but really this is how we want to feel about ourselves. This is these things that we crave to hear from others. We can feed ourselves in the same way. So breathe in love into your heart here, knowing you're doing something good for yourself. Maybe the right arm goes up and behind the back. Maybe using the right hand in front of you, supporting yourself. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Howard Thurman. As we become more joyful, we bring more joy into the world. One more minute. Okay, now right hand in front of the face, sweep that left arm out from under you into the sky. And feel the stretch from the right hand to the left, really opening wide. And then step your left foot back. Easy side plank. Good, push your heart towards the sky, feel that white light. Just flushing through the heart from wringing it out and thread the needle. Good, do what feels good with the left arm. It can also go over your ear. What feels good? Any position that your intuition guides you to is what you need to do. Good, now as you come down, left foot's gonna step through to the top of the mat. Take a nice big step and then let your hips melt into it until they stop, making sure the front knee doesn't go past the front ankle. And that's where you want to prop it, using a block in front of your back thigh, and then blocks under your hands for support. And we'll begin the clock, 2.5 high, 2.5 low. Back toes can point or flex, front knee over front ankle. So we're supposed to feel something here, but it shouldn't be so strong that it stops us from breathing, that it's hard to be still, or that we're feeling pain. So sweet discomfort is the goal. So breathe into this space now, the front of the right hip. So as we release tension from the front of the hip joint, the quads and the hip flexors, where the stomach and spleen channels happen to be, we're helping the pelvic girdle to come out of an anterior tilt into straight up and down. Because when it's tilting anteriorly, which means the bottom is coming forward, it puts pressure and stress along the lower back, causing the sciatic nerve to react, right? So if you have sciatica on this right side, you would want the right leg back like this to stretch the front of the right hip, okay? Because that sciatic nerve is like an upside down tree going from the sacrum down the leg. And this is why we feel that radiating pain shooting from the low back sometimes. So this is, to me, preventative. Let's just keep breathing here, right? This is our heart chakra opening class, so maybe dropping the head back, maybe even reaching back if you have the balance, and interlacing the fingers, pinching the shoulder blades. Don't get too fancy, don't want you to fall over. Good. You could also turn your gaze slowly side to side to get a twist in your cervical spine. Just going how far it feels good today. Such a good stretch. 30 more seconds here. In this posture, always feel free to do any of the neck work mentioned, whether you're making circles, dropping the ears side to side, or turning the head. It's all good work for the cervical spine. Let's place the blocks inside the foot by leaning into baby dragon first, and then bring the elbows down, and then walk the left foot out to the left, just a couple inches. That just evens out the weight distribution in the elbows. All right, 2.5 minutes. Keep breathing. So if you practice other styles of yoga, this is really going to help to improve your back bends. As we open up the front of the hip, you'll be able to go back in your back bend positions, whether it's bridge or wheel or bow pose, or dancer's pose, any of those back bending type yoga postures, camel. I have found that if I feel a lot of shoulder pressure in this pose, it's probably because I'm not down low enough. So remember, the principle of staying still also has the caveat of moving in or out a little, called playing the edge. So you make that transition whenever it's necessary. If you're feeling that pressure, maybe try going a little bit lower. 1 more minute, keep breathing. Breathing into the spaces in the body where we find tension along the way in each pose. That's what we're here for today, to expose stress and tension and breathe love into it. Let go of what we don't need with each exhale. "30 seconds. So today, since this is our Valentine's Day practice, we're going to start with the most challenging postures and work our way towards the ones that most people prefer and enjoy more. So dragon and frog first, and then we'll move into dangling and swan. So we're working the 4 directions, including adduction and abduction today. So let's go ahead and bring the hips back slowly, letting the front leg straighten a bit. Take a few breaths as you bow to your beautiful self over this left leg. Feel the line of energy from the heel to the neck. All right, let's return to our table posture. Now for frog pose, we want to place the blocks under us before we start our cats and cows. So you can have your blocks like you did for your elbows in dragon, either sideways like this, even 1 sideways is fine, or 2 stacked, or even 1 flat if you don't need very much support. Okay, the other block goes at the top of the mat. That'll be for your forehead. And let's make sure this blanket is wider than the mat. Knees are on the blanket, hands are flat, and just start to move your body, cows and cats, nice and slow. Up and down, side to side. What feels good right now? So just moving organically according to how you feel helps develop intuition. This inner voice gets louder, stronger, easier to hear as we develop that skill of listening. All right, hands flat. Let's put the elbows where the hands were. Slide the knees out on that blanket, straight out to the sides, letting the body come down onto the blocks. So see, if you have them in a place where you can relax, you don't even need your arms, but keep your elbows there just to relax your shoulders. And then the forehead or side of the face against the block will be here for 5 minutes, just like our dragon pose today. All right, let's breathe. So once the knees are apart, see if you can really relax your legs and relax your arms, relax your neck and your face. And then if you feel like you need more pressure at any point, you can separate your feet more, which is going to increase the internal rotation of the hip joint. This is an internal pose, but if the adductors, the inner thigh tissues are tight, we start with toes closer and then eventually allow the feet to separate over time. Maybe not in one pose, maybe over weeks or months of practice. Good, nice, steady, slow breaths here. So breathing love into the area of your body that's feeling tight right now. It's feeling pressure, right? It's kind of like you're a mother with your body, right? Your body is the child, and you're breathing into their hurts. My dad used to always, whenever I get hurt, he'd rub it. And so now I do that to myself because I always loved when he did that. It always made me feel better. He'd say, damn it, or something like that. No, darn it, honey, darn it. He'd rub my little hurts. So we're here taking care of ourselves like that. Keep on breathing. So when we begin to let the priorities of our calendar reflect what we love and what makes us come alive, our whole life begins to change. Instead of filling our days with stuff that just checks stuff off the list or keeps the world spinning around, or so we think, we have the choice every day to move forward towards love. Doing what we enjoy the most and the people we enjoy the most doing it with. Good. Inner thigh tissue, as I mentioned, the adductor muscles along the inner thighs, the groin as we start to wake up the Shakti energy, the Kundalini at the base of the spine. The feminine energy, begins to rise up to meet with Shiva, right? And they start to come together in union as they cross back and forth and rise all the way to the crown of the head. The feminine and the masculine energy coming into balance through yin. 90 more seconds. Anne Lamott said it best. I think joy and sweetness and affection are a spiritual path. We're here to know God, to love and serve God, and to be blown away by the beauty and miracle of nature. You just have to get rid of so much baggage to be light enough to dance, to sing, to play. Now let's start to take the blocks out from under us and gently crawl forward on the elbows to the belly. Let the legs come together and just simply turn your head to one side if you can, with the arms next to the body, palms up, and let go completely. Now feel your heart center resting against your mat. Try to breathe into that space and imagine it radiating out the back. Now prop yourself up onto your elbows when you're ready for your Sphinx pose. So legs straight behind you, elbows under shoulders. You're welcome to rock your hips side to side if that feels good. You could keep your head up or let it dangle forward, maybe even rocking your chin like a pendulum. If you'd like to go deeper, plant your hands in front of your elbows, maybe even a little wider than your elbows. Hands flat, pushing down gently. Lock your legs, squeeze your bum. Slowly lift your elbows up for seal pose. You can separate your feet a little wider if that helps. Try not to just crunch the low back. I want you to lift up through your ribs and your chest and your chin as well. If it's too strong, just let your elbows go back to the ground, right? We play our edge in every pose. When you're finished, you can go back to the ground. Turn your head the other way. This is a spinal twist again for the neck. Arms next to your body if that feels okay. Just breathe in and out of the heart center. Beautiful. Hands under shoulders. Let's push up to table. We'll counter this pose with child's pose, Balasana. Letting the hips go back towards the heels. Bending forward. You're always welcome to use a block under your forehead if you like. And just bowing to your beautiful self again. Take a few breaths in out of your lower back. Good. Now we're going to come to table and do a few cats and cows again, up and down, nice and slow. Moving your back around any way that feels good. Good. All right, let's bring the knees together and slowly sit back towards the heels and see if we can sit directly on the heels. If that's too strong, take a block or two and put it between your heels, keeping your feet underneath your seat so the heels are not on the outside. Knees can part if that helps. I know it helps with some of my students to be able to get down a little bit more comfortably. Okay, now let's just stay here, breathe and relax, focusing on what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Now, if you're sitting on the feet and it feels like it's easing up or you just don't feel much, you can lean back for more pressure, maybe even lifting the knees off the mat. You probably heard me say this before, but the first time I did this, I went into it too fast and I actually pulled a muscle on the top of my foot. So just be careful, always listening. Okay, and then we're going to lean forward, wiggle the feet around a little bit, roll your ankles, and then turn the toes under. I like my feet and knees together for this one, but do what feels right for yourself. Just make sure you keep breathing. Now your hands can stay on the floor in front of you, or you can climb the hands onto the thighs and do what feels good. Good. So this is toe stretch, activating all 6 lower body meridians. Now with the hands on the floor, lift your knees back, or lift your knees up to this little squatting position. Remember, you can be on your fingertips here, or you can just lay forward over your legs. If it's too hard, you can stay in our last pose just for a few more breaths. We won't be here long. We're transitioning towards our our dangling pose rather, and our standing forward fold. So the flexion posture of our 4 directions of the hips. So this is going to stretch out your Achilles tendon, your calf muscles, and your lower back. Okay, so we're going to roll up to standing. This is the day. Come all the way up. Get your feet hip distance apart. Make sure they're comfortable and straight, facing straight ahead. Bend your elbows. Put your elbows on. Bend your knees. Put your elbows on your knees. And then let's tilt the tail up. So think about doing cow stretch, right? With your hands and knees on the floor. When you do the inhale, where the chin and tail go up, that's what I want you to do with your pelvic girdle, because we're really targeting the hamstrings. So if you round your back, you're going to start feeling a lot of pressure in your spine instead by accident, and we want to be careful with that. So if we flatten the back, we can target the hamstrings, take the pressure off of the lower back so it can lengthen. Okay? So if your hamstrings are really tight, just bend the knees a little more. And if they're looser, you can straighten them more and still keep the back flat. All right, your head can hang. If that feels nice, you can shake your head yes and no very slowly. Good. You could also just lay forward, holding opposite elbows. Okay, let's breathe. Stay here. Feel your breath. No can be an earth-shattering word to people around us, especially as we begin to say potentially for the first time. It's hard to tell to our children. It's hard to tell our parents no. It's hard to tell our best friends no. But in the end, what's at stake is more than hurting someone's feelings. It's our life. And this is a practice of self-love. Just a few more breaths. We're almost there. This is a 3-minute stretch for the hamstrings and the spine. Flexion of your hips. So feel the length from your tail to your neck. Good. Really trying to lengthen the spine in this one. Instead of rounding, we just let it straighten a little bit. All right, now let's crawl forward to table pose, hands and knees. We're just going to simply slide the right knee forward to the right wrist, wiggle the right toes to the left, and then bend the left knee, just allowing the right hip to come down to the mat. So pull the back knee forward a little bit. That way you can have the space to pull the right foot forward. Okay, so we want the right leg in a 90-degree angle. Thigh even with the side of the mat, shin with the top of the mat. Back leg is bent to the side. We're really turning that right thigh out to the right, especially by pointing the left knee out to the left. Okay, because we could stretch the leg back behind us, but we don't need to do that until the body is really open. So start folding. If your front leg is relaxed, start folding over that front leg. All right, we have another 5-minute hold in our 1-hour class. The 3 postures, dragon, frog, and swan are all held for 5 minutes each, and then our standing forward fold for 3. All right, we have 2 spinal twists in this class as well. So we've already done thread the needle, and at the end of each swan, we'll be doing a seated twist called Marichiasana, letter C. Okay, so let's find the place that we need to be. Find your first edge. Sweet discomfort is the goal. And then get still, second principle. Stay for time, that's my job, to keep track of that. So you can just be in your body with your breath, watch your mind, and really listen. How do I feel here? What do I need? Practice self-love, self-care. Saying no to the mind, no to negativity. So feel free to support your forehead with a block. Two minutes to go. Remember to try to use that breath going in and out through the nose as your focus point. Kind of like a watchtower. Your mind is there, and your awareness is there, just kind of looking into the body, looking into the mind, shining light into those dark spaces. Good, 90 seconds, keep breathing. If you need more pressure, just go lower. Okay, let's slowly rise. So we just lift our body away from the leg, lean to the right, and bring both legs out in front. See if you can feel the difference between the two legs. If you can feel heat, lightness, maybe some tingling in that right leg as it relaxes, as the blood and energy start flushing through where the pressure was. We're going to put the feet flat and just let the knees tip side to side. And then we'll take our reverse table for the shoulders. So hands flat, fingers can face any direction that feels good. Make sure your hands are shoulder width, the feet are hip distance. And then gently lift and squeeze. Pushing the hands and feet to the mat, dropping the head back. And just do that for as long as it feels good for you. When you come down, no rush. Just sit in meditation pose and shake out your hands. Roll the shoulders, loosen up again. Just notice how you feel. Take your time, keep breathing. I have my love shirt on today. My intuition told me. All right, let's just take a nice big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. This is the sound of the heart chakra, the sound of ah. Good. Let's begin again. Hands and knees, table. Might want to have your blocks there in case you need them for your elbows or your forehead. Just move around a little bit again. So we finish up with the second side. We'll do our spinal twist at the end. Okay. Good. Now left knee slides up, left toes to the right, drop the left hip down to the mat. Right knee bends to the right, so you can pull your left foot up across from your left knee. Left knee directly in front of left hip. And then you can start crawling forward if your muscles of your leg are relaxed, using your blocks under your elbows or forehead. Or both. Remember, it's a 5-minute hold. Let's keep breathing. So we find the edge, we get still, we make our intuitive adjustments, we stay for time. Simple principles, not always easy to follow, especially the stillness part. So just do your best to watch your mind, because before every movement is the thought. Nice steady breaths help you stay present and relaxed and open to the possibilities of your day. So if you are needing someone to give you permission this week to say yes to something you love and no to something you don't, let that person be yourself. So maybe for you, it's a yoga class with your girlfriends, an afternoon of golf, a plan to start something new, a special trip with the grandkids or kids, a pause to watch the sunrise. Knowing that as we make these choices, we grow closer every day towards who we are and what our lives are most to be about. Slowly rise. Let's lean to the left this time, bringing the right leg forward. Let your legs stretch out. Shake them out a little bit. See how they feel now. Windshield wipers, feet flat. Letting your knees tip side to side, nice and slow and steady. And then one more heart opening here. Hands flat, feet flat, lift and squeeze. Stretching the shoulders in this direction. This is going to really stretch the front of the chest muscles, the pectorals, but also strengthen the arm bones at the same time. As you sit, shake out your hands, roll the shoulders backwards a little bit. Good, close your eyes and let's take a cleansing breath together. Inhale. Beautiful. Straighten the right leg out in front of you. Place your left foot flat, either inside or outside the knee. And then you want to hold on and lift. Both sits bones need to be really secure. We're going to lift the chest with the left hand back and start to turn, holding on to the left knee with the right hand. So suck your belly in. That gets it out of the way. That's called Uddiyana Bandha. Good. Really wringing out the spine from bottom to top. Be careful with your neck. You can always look forward instead. Beautiful. Inhale to the front and exhale to the right. Okay, let's switch. This time left leg straight, right foot flat. Hold on in front of the right knee this time. Remember, foot's flat. It can be inside or outside the knee. Okay, so lengthen, sitting, pushing down through the sits bones. Right hand back. Hold the right knee with the left hand. And start to turn. So Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the belly in. It really does make space for certain postures like twists. your body to go further. And it really secures the lumbar too. Good. Small sips of air when we're twisting. And then inhale to the front, exhale to the left. Nice work. Now we're going to end this with another heart opening posture in our Shavasana using our blocks behind us. We can lay on the block. The block is sideways, goes right across the back where your bra strap would be if you were wearing one. And then the back of the head goes against the taller block. You could have that block lower. Just make sure your face is even with the ceiling. Let your legs straighten and fall open to the sky. Let the arms rest by your sides, palms up. And just close your eyes. Notice how you feel. Okay, we're going to allow the body to rest just for 2 minutes here. And take in all the healing energy of the practice. So please remind yourself to relax. Relaxing the face, relaxing the forehead and eyes, the cheeks, the nose, and the jaws. Remind yourself to move towards love, feeling the heart center melting open even more now. And remind yourself to let go, to just let the hips and legs get heavy on the floor. There's no place to go, nothing to do right now. Just practice being. Now, without moving, just start to deepen each breath. Knowing that where your mind goes, your energy flows, and focusing on opening the heart today even further as you move out into your day, out into your life, into the world. Good. Skim the thumbs across the fingertips and stretch the arms over your head. So now we're more sensitive. We can give hugs away more freely. Maybe a touch on the shoulder or a smile. Just spread that love as you move out of your yoga practice today. Let's slide the feet flat, roll to one side, rest in fetal position on the earth. And then sending love to Mother Earth today, thanking her for holding you in this space. And then rising up slowly to your seated meditation, right where we started, hands at the heart center, thumbs against the sternum. And just bow your head a little forward, looking into your heart, knowing that whoever you practice for today can feel that love, can feel that joy. And what we give away, we get back 10 or 1,000 times. So let's do it again. Take a deep breath in and send out love. Oh. For moving towards love is whatever brings us both joy and deeper connection to ourselves and others. Namaste. Enjoy your Valentine's Day every day. Thanks for being here.